Hello class, my name is Catherine Toon Orger. I believe I possess many of the dispositions necessary to be a successful teacher. I am very compassionate and have always been. When I started teaching though, I followed some of the practices of Harry Wong, an educator and author of the book, The First Days of School, How to Be an Effective Teacher. He was an advocate for being friendly but stern with very little smiling until rules and procedures were in place. Once COVID hit, I disregarded this philosophy somewhat. Rules and procedures are still important to me, but emotional support also became very important to me. I started each year showing my compassionate side and smiling most of the time. I begin each year with a unit explaining our emotions and how to use strategies to help us return to a calm, peaceful place, more conducive of learning. I place high expectations on my students and believe all students are capable of learning. I use appropriate vocabulary and terms when teaching my students. I find my students continue to prove they are capable of the challenge and always meet the expectations. I work hard to not only show respect for the diversity of others, but I also teach my students how to respect others and live by the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do to you. I try to always conduct myself as a professional. Even when I'm around people who might be harsh and disrespectful, I hold my tongue and respond respectfully and professionally. I always try to be fair and honest and discuss both dispositions with my students. Because of the vast differences of people in our society, I also must teach my students the fact that things aren't always fair in life, and we should still hold our beliefs and standards even when unfair things happen. I also explain how honesty is always important, and consequences are usually less severe when you are honest instead of lying. I advocate for my students every day and will always fight for their well-being and to make sure they receive all the services needed. Of course, reflection and dedication are big in the field of teaching. I make mistakes and I teach my students that mistakes are a part of learning. I reflect on my mistakes as well as my lessons to think about what I could have done differently to get a bit greater understanding of the concepts from my students. I am dedicated to my students, my colleagues, and to the profession. I strive for improvement and excellence. I still need to work on my curiosity and gaining curiosity in my students to grow as an educator. It is not that I don't possess this disposition, it is just that I have some difficulty with student discourse as it pertains to questioning the hows, the whys, and the reasons they feel that way. I also need to work on reflection. As I said earlier, I reflect on my lessons, but I am very hard on myself, and I have to remember, just as I tell my students, that mistakes are a part of learning. I need to reflect with less guilt and punishment on myself. A professional educator has all different ways they may look. I believe we are one of those fields where we vary tremendously due to our beliefs and our backgrounds. We behave to the highest standards, knowing we are role models to our students and all the students at our schools. We have many standards that guide our thinking and our actions. Here in Stockton Unified School District, we are evaluated with a set of standards which I believe illustrate the ones that guide us. It includes standards based on engagement and support of all students. We need to create and maintain effective environments conducive to learning. We must understand and organize our subject matter in ways that promote learning. We must plan and design our lessons in a way that promotes learning experience for all our students. We must find a variety of ways to assess our students. Lastly, we must develop as educators through collaboration, professional development, working with families, and other modes such as ongoing education, which is why I decided to pursue my graduate degree.